So you've started a podcast and now you're ready to start raking in some change. Let's get into it. Let's start with the question, does the podcast need to bring in money? The answer is no. But can it? 100%. Now, this all depends on the goal of your podcast, but having a strategy in place of how you want to monetize your podcast is important. The first way you can monetize your podcast is sponsorship and advertising. Whether you work with an ad network or you're getting sponsored directly by companies, advertising products that align with you and your business, aka your podcast, because your podcast is a business, it's one way to monetize. Now, there are several resources to find sponsors. One is called Podcorn. I haven't had much experience with it myself, but apparently it's very easy to find and secure sponsorships at any size. And you have full control of your rates, your creative format, and your scheduling. It's completely free for podcasters to sign up. You can check out the monetization opportunities on the site and even communicate with the brands. Podcorn does take a small fee if you end up working with the brand, but the best part is you get to keep all of your content so you don't have to use them as a platform to host your podcast. Another way to monetize with ads is dynamic ad insertion. These are automatic ads that are not a permanent part of your podcast. You don't have to record anything. And because they're inserted in real time, you can also monetize your back catalog of episodes that you've already put out and are published and are live. With dynamic ads, you get to choose where you want the ad to run, pre, mid, or post-roll. So beginning, middle, or end. Now, your earning potential depends on your audience size. Certain genres and categories are in higher demand. That means even if you have a smaller audience, but your genre or category is in high demand, you can still generate the big bucks. But remember, keep the ad load reasonable. Nobody wants to hop on your podcast and then it's ad after ad after ad. No, be reasonable with it. 3 ads, I think is the sweet spot. Now, do keep in mind, for some platforms like Libsyn, they do require at least 2,000 downloads per episode in order for you to join in on the dynamic ad insertion program that they have. The second way to monetize your podcast is with affiliate marketing. Do you have a certain product that you love to use? Is there an affiliate program you can sign up for? If yes, sign up and start promoting that thing, baby. Add the links to your show notes. That way, when your audience tunes into your show and they're listening to your amazing podcast and then you drop the knowledge bombs of all the things you love, your listeners can buy the same product by clicking on your affiliate link in your show notes, also giving you a little bit or a lot of passive income. If yes, sign up and start sharing those links in your show notes. That way, when your audience tunes into your show and you talk about that product that changed your life, your listeners can go into your show notes, click on your affiliate link, and voila. Amazon has its own affiliate program you can sign up with. You earn commission from the traffic you drive to Amazon on qualifying purchases. I also believe the commission income is paid to you 60 days after the end of the month in which you earned it. I've linked that below, but you will need a qualifying website or mobile app to participate in the program. Number 3, the third way to monetize your podcast is online courses. Whether your course is hosted on platforms like Teachable, Udemy, Kartra, talk about it on your podcast. Provide nuggets of valuable information and link to it in your show notes so your listeners can check it out for themselves. Now, I'm no website guru, but I do know there are special links that you can use in your show notes that will lead your listeners to sign up for your masterclass or your courses. And those links can let you know that those leads came from the podcast. I know that the Pretty Links plugin for WordPress does this. The fourth way to monetize your podcast is to sell services. If you sell services like myself, you can educate your listeners little by little about the services you offer, the clients you work with, problems they have, and how you would solve it. The more you talk about your services and show the value that you bring, the more the listener is going to tune in each week and listen to what you have to say and ultimately could pay for your services. The fifth way to monetize your podcast is crowdfunding and donations. People love to help people. And not to mention, people love to follow along and support you on the journey. A few ways your listeners can show their support are platforms like Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and Podfan. Maybe you share bonus content like special interviews, video, live streams, so that people make a donation to tune in to the content. Promote it on social media and let people know that patrons get first dibs on that content or whatever it is that people should get excited about. And the sixth way that you can monetize your podcast, and a personal favorite, is YouTube. By now you know the importance of video. In comes YouTube. YouTube is more than a platform to watch random videos. It's a search engine, which means it's another place for new listeners to discover you, your podcast, and your business. Not to mention, some people prefer to watch the video over listening to the audio, mostly because people like to put a face to the name. Not only that, when someone can visually see you, it familiarizes them with you, your mannerisms, and immediately get a sense of who you are as a person and if they vibe with you or not. When you optimize YouTube, creating catchy thumbnails, adding links in the description, even hashtags. It makes you more searchable. YouTube has its own set of robust analytics, yet another way to get a feel for who your audience is. And you don't have to upload your entire podcast episode to YouTube. Maybe you only use the video for YouTube Shorts. You create a YouTube page and you dedicate it solely to YouTube Shorts and then promote to your podcast. Honestly, it can be trial and error. You see what works, you see what doesn't, make your changes, and then start it over again. But again, starting a YouTube channel dedicated to your podcast isn't going to get you a ton of views or a ton of listens overnight. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Remember that.